Hey guys, Oblivion here, coming at you with a deck profile on my long-awaited worm deck. I finally completed the deck. Not really. I'm proxying two cards, so don't kill me. I'm proxying two cards that you guys will see soon. And yeah, guys, this is a deck that I've been running. I took it to locals today, and it did perfect as well as it was testing online. I tested against Dark Worlds. By the way, this was all like one match. I mean, one duel. So no sighting, no anything. I went against Dark Worlds. I beat them. Really cool. I'm really happy. I usually have to sight in really hard for Dark Worlds. And then the other one was Black Wings. Thank God she didn't draw into her Whirlwind or Icarus or anything. She couldn't really do anything. She drew into a handful of spell and trap. So, but whatever. A win is a win. And then the other one was Sabers, which I ended up beating. So, anyways, guys, let's just get to the deck profile. I'm going to be showing you guys the broken cards in the deck and the main cards of the deck. So, if for those of you people that are not good with worms, um, you know, I'll be going over the deck and why it's good and why it's really good this format. As always, I'll be leaving a link to the picture down below in the description. So for those of you guys that already know what's going on, you guys could go and check it out. So this is going to be a long deck profile. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. So, you know what? Let's start off with the monsters. Okay? So, for the monsters, we're going to be running the staple 3 Worms X. This card makes your deck. It doesn't make it. Another card makes it, but this card is a really big combo piece. Basically, he's a 1800 body. He's a light. All your monsters in this deck are light. He's a reptile. When you normal summon him, you could ditch a worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. And the card that you're going to want to ditch is going to be Wormjagen. Wormjagen, he is your bouncer. Oops, I'm sorry about that, guys. That was something else. Okay, so 3 Wormjagen. Jagen's effect states that if he's in the graveyard and the only monster you control is Worm Zex, that means you can only control one Zex, not 2 Zex. If the only monster you control is Zex, you could special summon this card and face down defense position. So next turn you could go for a Nebula play, or you could go into an XYZ play. This deck is a slow-paced deck, guys. It's meant to control your opponent's moves. It's a control-based deck. So guess what you're going to be doing with that? You're going to be controlling the field. So, sorry about that, guys. The camera was shaking. Jagen is a really key combo piece. Also, one fun thing is that if you control, with Zex effect, if you control a face-up Jagen, it cannot be destroyed by battle. So, it's pretty cool. And if it would get destroyed, if you special summon it with Zex effect, with its own effect, it would get banished instead of sending it to the grave. But that doesn't matter because you're going to be usually XYZing. Okay? For the next worms, those are going to be your staple 6 worms. The other worms, we're going to be running 3 Worm Carteros. Carteros is just the searcher of the deck. You're going to want to run 3. Why? Because it adds another Nebula target, so you could keep on drawing your cards, as well as it just thins out the deck. So, it's really much I could say. And for the last worm monster, we're running 1 Worm King, which is the boss of the worms. I was running originally 2 Worm Kings, but I hated drawing, 1. And as you guys saw in one of the duels, I drew into, 2 Worm Kings, and it was god-awful. So after that point, I literally just dropped to 1 Worm King. If you guys don't know its effect, it's a level 8 light reptile monster, 2700 body, so it's pretty big. And, you could tribute 1 worm monster to pop a card on the field. You could tribute him off or any other worm monster, like a dead Carteros or whatever. Usually what I like to do is I usually Nebula, flip the Carteros, draw whatever special next turn, flip a Carteros, search again, and then in Worm King's effect, I pop the Carteros, and then pop a card my opponent controls. And it's actually pretty kind of funny because in Dueling Network and stuff, this thing right here, it's open. So, and it's funny, the actual card they close it. I guess they don't, because it looks like a vagina or whatever. That's it for the worms. That are 10 worms. Those are the worms you should be running in any worm build. and those are the only worms I'm running. I don't like Worm Tentacle because I don't think it's worth it, to be completely honest with you guys, but that's my opinion. For the 1-for-1 monsters, we're running one Thunder King Ryo. I built this deck that you could reuse monsters, because I do run Call of the Haunted, as many of you guys know. Call of the Haunted is my favorite trap, this format. So Thunder King Ryo is just good in general. It's an amazing card. Like, it kills so many decks. It killed Dark Worlds, to be honest, because all they had was Gateway and they could not draw their Grapha. So it killed the Dark World deck. They couldn't snow. And, you know, everything else. And with Call of the Haunted, it's just incredible. And now, a personal tech of mine, one DD Warrior Lady. This took the spot of the second Thunder King Ryo in the deck. Or then I'll be running two Thunder King Ryos. This took the spot of it. DD Warrior Lady is an incredible card. It gets rid of problematic monsters, you know, Ophion, if anything, Axon Kicker, because it doesn't, you know, it doesn't destroy, it banishes. So yeah, DD Warrior Lady just as a personal tech. The one honest, because all your monsters are light. I know it's a little bit fucked up. I build this, by the way, guys. This is a budget deck. So yeah, sort of. This is my secondary deck to my Sea Lancer. And for the last monster, it can't really be considered a monster, more like a hand trap, to Effect Veiler. Can't say anything about Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is just so good. And I built this deck around my locals, so, you know, those are your staple monsters. Those are 15 monsters, I believe. Yeah, 15. So those are the monsters. Let's go over the traps. I'm sorry, the spells. Like I said, I'm proxying 2 cards, right, guys, and I'll be getting to them soon. One Dark Hole for the 1-for-1s, one Book of Moon, and that's it for the 1-for-1s. My 2 proxies, which these are 2 Forbidden Lands. So yeah, guys, those are 2 Forbidden Lands, and you know, Forbidden Lance is good because you need your Zex play to go off. You need it. Why? Because you want to deck thin, and because you want to you know, make your Nebula Meteorite play go through. So that's why, guys, you need it to go through. So Forbidden Lance is a great card, both offensively and defensively. Another card that I'm really happy is actually off the ban list to 3 Pots of Duality. Originally, you know, 2 is fine, don't get me wrong, but I just like 3 because it increases consistency. You need to see one of 2 cards, Nebula and Zex. If you open up those 2 cards in your opening hand, that's incredible. You're technically +3. I know realistically you don't +3, but I'll be showing you guys the reason why you do. And for the last 3 spells, we're running 1, 2, 3 MST. Just because I hate back row, and you know, I built this up to be a control deck, so you need to you know, make your plays, you know, go through. So that's it for the spells. I believe those are 10 spells. And now for the huge trap lineup of 15, you know, I think those are 15 traps. I don't know, 15 or 14. Your main trap, the card that breaks the deck, 3W Nebulite Meteorite. Okay, this card is the best card Konami has ever released for an archetype, and that's including Gladiator Beast and their War Chariot, hands down. Why? Oh my god, it's so good. Let me read it to you guys. Okay. Actually, let me just read it like this. Change all face-down monsters on the field to face-up defense position, which that's why you want to see Zex and Nebula in your opening hand. You can normal summon Zex, send the Jagan effect special summon itself. Your next turn, your opponent normal summons a monster, flip Nebula. If you flip Jagan bounces that monster, and your opponent waits to their normal summon for that turn. Okay? And then the other states that during the end phase of this turn, change all face-up light reptile monsters you control to face-down defense position. Then draw 1 card for each. After that, you can special summon 1 level 7 or higher light reptile monster from your deck. So, essentially, if let's say you have the Zex play, Zex and a Nebula. Normal summon Zex, send the Jagan special summons itself. There you have 2 light reptile monsters. You flip Nebula during your opponent's turn, usually the end phase. I like to do it, unless he's going to attack over something. You flip both, you flip the Jagan effect activates, whatever. During the end phase, you flip them both face down. You first draw 2 cards and then because they're a separate effect, and then if you didn't draw the Worm King, you could special summon out the Worm King. So essentially, you draw 2 cards, plus you get to special another one. So that's 3 cards already out of your deck. And then don't remember that you still haven't even started your turn. And then during your turn you draw. Yeah. So that's why Nebula breaks the deck. It's so good. For the rest of the traps, you're running 2 Dimensional Prison. Just to kind of have some removal. You want your Zex to be alive, your worms to be alive. 2 Fiendish Chain. I know. I hate effects. Fiendish Chain plus Effective Layer just equals awesome in my opinion. 2 Mirror Forces. It's a little bit slow, but worth it either way. 2 Call of the Haunted. Like I told you guys before, it's amazing. Call of the Haunted back your Thunder King Ryo, they can't search. Call of the Haunted back your Worm King, 2700 beater, and plus you could pop something. Or Call the Haunted your Zex, and then use Jagen's effect in the grave to special summon itself. And set up for a Nebula play there. So Call the Haunted just so good. Another card, 2 Offering to the Snake Deity. You have to run this card. It's the Icarus attack. The only difference is that you have to control a face-up reptile monster. So, usually I activate this card if they activate anything during the battle phase. So if I am attacking with Zex, let's say, and they activate Deep Prison, I'll chain Offering, pop 2 cards, and then you're running Call of the Haunted, so you guys don't even have to worry. And for the 1-for-1s, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device and 1 Torrential Tribute. And that's it for the traps. I'm actually thinking about maybe taking this out for a Warning or a Bottomless, but I don't know how that is yet. No promises there. But this is a deck that I'm going to be keeping because it's just so fun. I love it, and it's been doing great. So let's put that there. Now, I'm going to go over the extra deck. The extra deck is not complete, but I'm going to go over the cards that you really, you have to have. And that is 2 to 3 Star Liege. Star Liege is an incredible card. Basically, and I'm going to read you guys the effect. It requires 2 level 4 light monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 2 XYZ materials from this card to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes 0, and if he does, its effects are negated. When this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you draw 1 card. So this is a great XYZ card. Great. I recommend running 2 to 3. Another card, 1 Constellar Omega. I would run 2, but unfortunately I only have the 1. You guys should know what this does. It requires 2 level 4 or lower light. 2 level 4 light monsters, and you could chain it, and it won't be affected by spell or trap during the until the end phase. And the rest are just kind of staples. 1 Gaga Cowboy, which you guys should be able to get. It's in the tins. 1 King of the Feral Imp. I'm trying to find another one. I recommend running 2, just because of my side deck card. I do side into deck Devi, so I recommend running 2. 1 Utopia. Hold up, guys. Sorry, give me a second. My cards are sticking together. 1 Maestroke. 1 Pappy. And, the other ones could just be whatever you need. You're just trying to fill up extra deck space. I'm running 1 number 44 Sky Pegasus just for shits and giggles. And because I have it. And you cannot forget about the Crazy Mofo Crazy Box. Yeah. And then, for other cards, I'm running, Catastrophe, just because I have the level 1 tuner, and I'm just trying to fill up extra deck space. I mean, why not? Okay, guys, so that's it for the extra deck. Let's go through the side deck. The side deck is not complete, so like I said, don't rip my head off. Let's go over the chaps first. We're running 2 Rivalry of the Warlords. This card kills E-Dragons because you can only control 1 type of monster. Also, you could. It's really good, really, really good. I'm trying to get my hands on 2 Gozen match as well. I can't really find them. 2 Deck Devi, because it kills decks like plants. It kills decks like Prophecy sometimes. Let's see, anything else. It kills a lot of decks. I can't remember. Windups. Deck Devi is pretty good. 2 DNA Surgery. It kills Prophecies because you call something ridiculous like Divine Beast. Usually you're gonna call Reptile though, so you could make your Offering live. So DNA Surgery plus is actually really good against the rogue matchup, just if they're playing rogue something, 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, trying to get my hands on another one. So 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors, and for the monsters, we're running 2 Fossil Dinos. This card's incredible in this deck. I don't main it just because I prefer the DD Warrior Lady, but this card combos great because you combos great with Nebula. You know, since when you flip it, it destroys all special summon monsters on the field. So it's great for your opponent. You know, you're usually never going to special summon. Nebula flips it face up, destroy everything your opponent controls, and then during the end phase, you know, special summon out. You can't. I'm sorry, but yeah, you plus off because your opponent has a clear field now. So 2 Flying C, incredible card. Fucking love this card. Great. And the second DD Warrior Lady. So anyways, guys, that's the deck profile for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Like I said, you know, I did go over the card explanations and why I ran them. I fucking love this deck. The image will be down in the description down below if you guys didn't hear it at the beginning. And this has been Oblivion. Catch you guys later. See you on the flip side. Deuces.